Hi guys, it's Dr. Pam, and I'm here with this week's burning question. Over the last couple of weeks, I've trickled out information through Facebook posts and also weekly emails to talk about a disease process that mainstream medicine doesn't even know exists, despite overwhelming evidence in the clinical studies proving its existence in humans and also dogs. And you may not have even heard of it. It's leaky gut disease or intestinal dysbiosis. Now, interestingly enough, it is one of the, if not the top driver of all chronic disease in our pet population and human population for that matter. Think of it. What if you knew about this and you could look at this and say, oh, we have this dysfunctional state, and you corrected it before it became and manifested as a physical chronic disease? What would that mean for you and your pet? It would mean more years. It would mean more time with your pet to play ball and get those lovely kisses and the little puppy dog tail wags and the kitty purrs. It would also mean that your pet would be healthier and would not contribute to that dismal cancer rate we talked about a couple of weeks ago, okay? So Kelly wrote in on my last email and said, well, how do I know if my dog has leaky gut disease? Let's talk about that. So food is a big piece here. If your dog or cat has been eating a dry kibble diet or a processed canned food, your cat or dog has leaky gut disease. Why? Because these types of foods create an inflammatory process at the gut lining. Inflammation perpetuates this leaky gut disease. And the thing is that if you remember when we're making these dog foods, they take them up to a very high temperature that basically denatures or obliterates all the nutritional value content to whatever good ingredients were actually added, not to mention all the bad ingredients that we're trying to give you an awareness about. And it obliterates that, and then they add it back synthetically. Now, there's only a certain number of synthetically derived nutrients, and there's thousands of nutrients that your body needs to have to function on a daily basis at a cellular level. So 20 synthetic things, not gonna cut it, right? So at any rate, that's one thing. The other thing is that when you look at the disease states that dogs and cats had, if your dog has an autoimmune disease, if they have cancer, if they have a liver disease, if they have chronic kidney disease, any of those chronic diseases, you have leaky gut disease underlying that, okay? The other thing that we've noticed also is that the puppies coming in over the last couple of years already have leaky gut disease. They're already showing it when they're baby little fuzzballs. I mean, they're having issues. So the questions you may have is, well, how am I supposed to evaluate for that? So the guide that I put together that you got whenever you joined the weekly newsletter list, that guide is a 5-point checklist that helps you evaluate visually whether or not your dog is having some nutrient deficiency or some issues assimilating their food. And that points because it lays the foundation for disease to form. So it's a 5-point checklist. And those, I call them indicators, if any one of those 5 indicators exist in your dog or your cat, more so in dogs than cat, but if they do, your pet has leaky gut disease. And so that's why it's such a valuable piece of information. So if you're not on the list and you want to be a part of that, scroll down, leave me a comment, we'll get you set up. But remember, pull that out and look at it, because these are visual indicators that you can use to evaluate the health and well-being of your dog. But if your dog or cat has a disease process, we're already there, okay? So the big thing is that we talked about the gut microbiome, right? In Burning Question 12, I think. And the importance in the gut microbiome in the overall health of the body. Your normal bacteria flora are balanced out with your pathogenic bacterial flora and balanced out with your viruses and yeast. There, you got all kinds of buggies up in that area, and they balance each other out. It's what we call a symbiotic or commensal relationship. They work together to bring health. And in fact, as we talked about in Burning Question 12, they actually affect your genetic expression. Guys, this is huge because Everybody has the genetic potential to have a genetic disease. It's whether that gene expresses or not. And your gut microbiome is a huge factor in that. So we've rolled out through our our weekly emails, that there's a potential type of treatment that we can do as a preventative thing to correct some dysfunction at the gut lining. And I'm working on that as we speak, and I have a meeting with this great doctor next week involving the microbiome research, and I'll let you know how that goes. But we're trying to roll this out for you because this could be such a game changer for you. And I want you to know that the father of medicine, Hippocrates, said that all disease begins in the gut, right? He was talking about not the genes, because he didn't know that. He was talking about lifestyle, what we call epigenetics. And that is all the factors under our control that affect genetic expression. He didn't know it at the time, but that's what he was talking about. So we can work together to bring out more years in your dog's life, more purrs from your kitty, more everything, and a healthier well-being. And we're not going to contribute to that dismal cancer rate that we talked about a couple weeks ago. So I hope this helps. I hope this is interesting to you. Scroll down, leave me a comment, and we'll keep this dialogue going. All right? Talk to you later. Bye.